Hi, I'm Sam Raimi, the director of The Evil Dead. Do you have a light? This is Sam speaking, and I was in ancient history class at Michigan State University, probably 1977, and we were studying the Book of the Dead, and I thought that would make a great title for a horror picture. We didn't really write scripts back then. We would pretty much just get together, jot down ideas on paper, usually in an outline form, and then just go and start shooting stuff. So it was a new thing for us in college to actually work on a script. So much of what a filmmaker has to deal with is the disappointment of others when they see the work that they've created. That's the hardest thing for filmmakers like us to deal with too, because our films are pure entertainment. They just want to please the audience. When we fail, we don't have an artistic leg to stand on. We've really failed.
You still seem to have in that film an obsession with mutilating the human form. I mean, is that what's necessary these days to bring the thousands of people into the cinemas to watch that kind of movie?
Actually, Evil Dead is a story of demonic spirits, and it's really a battle of man versus monster. And it's the monsters that are attacked and destroyed and dispatched in the Evil Dead pictures.
So it was your intention from the beginning to make a brutal, savage...
No, not to make a brutal, savage horror film. We wanted to make Robert Tapert, the producer, and myself, and Bruce Campbell wanted to make a film that would definitely entertain the horror crowd. Because we had sat in on a lot of drive-in movies and a lot of cheap horror theaters in Detroit during shows, and sometimes, most of the time, we would watch films and they didn't deliver enough. That's what we felt. So we wanted to make one that would really knock them with a punch. We wanted to have a terrible creature, a spirit, something that floated through the woods at a different height than we're used to seeing things. So we used a shaky cam. We came up with a board where we mounted the camera in the middle, and the lens acted as the axis point, and it's ended up smoothing out the point of view, because the longer the board was that the camera was mounted on, the jiggle, this effect, well, cinema verite there, decreased proportionate to the length of the board. So it gave us a very eerily smooth look, and it seemed to work out okay. There was a spirit of camaraderie and friendship with our friends.
Oh, we were fresh, ready, making a motion picture.
Shooting some lines in the car.
What could possibly go wrong?
It was great.
Yeah, this was another, this was like renting 16mm equipment. Makeup effects were a whole different level. Two of us putting clown white on our face to do a Super 8 movie in high school. This was a whole different deal with moldings, castings, plaster, finding these strange materials, Cavasil, stuff that dentists used. We had to figure all that. Like, how do you find actors? Sam, we had auditions at your house.
We couldn't afford to bring in water, obviously, so we didn't have any running water. All the water had to be brought there down this mile-long mud road. It had turned to mud soup. So when it got very cold in there, because we didn't have any heating system except a fireplace, and the whole place eventually got covered in Caro syrup blood, and it really gets sticky because there's so much blood in the picture, and bile and green, red, blue, any color. The whole place eventually had a coat of sticky Caro syrup over it, everything. And anytime you wanted to touch the camera, you had to turn on the coffee machine, because we had enough water for a coffee thing, and wash your hands in this scalding coffee. I remember doing that many times. It was horrible. And then grab the camera, and then you pick up something, damn, and you get the stuff on your hands again.
Did you feel under a lot of pressure while you were shooting it?
Yes, I felt under great pressure. And it was not artistic pressure, it was all financial pressure, because there were no expectations on me as a kid. It was all a question of, I have $90,000 of these people's money who I promised I would make a good movie out of. This has got to be good. It's strange, but that's where I was coming from back then.
So what do you think would have happened if the movie hadn't been a hit?
Well, then I would be selling air conditioners again, which I'm pretty good at.